Mitram and Bandhuvam, welcome to South Asia Maps, Intellectual Kshatriya channel, education channel. This is your presenter Dr. J. Reddy. And we are continuing our fascinating presentations on human ecology, human predicament, human ecology. This is part 78. And Mitram and Bandhuvam, if you are new to my presentations, you can go to South Asia Maps J. Reddy, the YouTube channel. I have already posted nearly 290 meticulously made presentations on varied topics of Indian history, geography, global geographies, and human ecology populations, and you can explore them further there at that site. Today we are discussing about a very important topic, ecological succession, that is ecological evolution or natural succession. Ecological succession of Homo sapiens, here Homo sapiens, by the Homo colossus. Then again, in the future, the succession of Homo sapiens with Homo colossus. Homo sapiens, colossus, and Homo sapiens. Before that, I have made other presentation, part 5 of our human ecology series. You can go and look at that. That is more about what is Homo colossus and what is Homo sapiens. Homo colossus, Homo sapiens, this is the term Dr. Cotton coined in his work, Overshoot book. Essentially, the modern industrial human being is in a sense, colossus means big, gigantic humans. They drive the cars, live in air-conditioned houses, consume lot of resources. Gigantic human, a resource prodigal. Prodigal means you consume a lot. Also projected as a wasteful in a other sense. Whereas his counterpart, interbreeding, a simple subsistence human. Still in many parts of Asia and Africa, you see the people living a simple subsistence, bare life with a small house and basic food requirements like that. A normal human, a subsistence human, Homo sapiens. These are the biological names. Sapiens means wise. Humans named themselves as wise or intelligent, whatever it may be. This is the gigantic human. So, I further explored that Homo sapiens, how this came based upon the statue of Apollo in Rhodes Harbor and all those things, resource demands. And Homo sapiens is essentially like a language using tool making social species. Here, if you follow my series, this always represents a colossus, very big gigantic icon, Homo colossus. And wherever you see S means Homo sapiens, a simple human being, you can take that into consideration in all our series. What is a species? A species is an interbreeding group of organisms. Let's say there are 8 billion humans among the planet Earth. There are like Caucasian, Mongoloid, and Negroid race. All are one species. They can intermarry among themselves. They can breed successfully next progeny. That is a species. What is a quasi-species or subspecies means? Take for example a person in the social stratification essentially. It's not genetical. The resource using the modern person driving the cars, you can say gigantic person is a colossus person. His counterpart, simple living, is a Homo sapien. These are specialized people, not genetically but occupationally or something like that. Subspeciation, a sort of quasi-speciation. In the ecological succession, what happens? There is a dominant species will be there. Species that will succeed that dominant species, we can say successor species or a prospective successor species. Then what is a dominant species means? Dominant species will have more impact on the ecology, ecosphere, biosphere of the planet Earth. It doesn't mean generally they will be large in number. If you take for example insects like ants or aphids, if you count them, they will be billions and billions, but they're not considered as a dominant species like humans, because humans has a more impact on the planet Earth. That means they shape the ecological principles or influence them more. That's the dominant species. Human was a dominant species, and before humans there were other dominant species. That is, the ecological transition occurs from one dominant species to other dominant species. Natural succession or ecological succession. In this ecological succession, a dominant species, take for example, at the time Homo sapiens, cannot resist other prospective new successor Homo colossus. When the Homo colossus start emerging, Homo sapiens couldn't able to resist it. Now most of the planet Earth people are Homo colossus. There are nearly 330 million Homo colossuses in the United States of America. In India also there are millions of Homo colossuses, and many are aspiring to be a medium level or high level Homo colossuses. Now we see many Homo colossuses in China also, mainland China. So that means an existing dominant. There are many people still living in a simple lifestyle in the rural villages, but that dominant species cannot resist the succession of its prospective successor. In the ecological succession, that is the way like that. It is not like a putting any defense in the military warfare. Then how can we connect these threads together? Take for example, steam engine was invented in 1800s, and at that time there was a simple human being, Homo sapiens. Then they start industrialization and Homo colossus emerged, especially after the discoveries of the coal, iron, fossil fuels predominantly. That's called years of exuberance, from 1500 to almost World War II or so on. Age of exuberance, and social exuberance, political exuberance, economic exuberance. Pre-industrial society, Homo sapiens, let's say 1900, he was the most dominant species at that time, very conspicuous at that time. After rapid industrialization, especially 1800s or we can say 1900s to maybe perhaps middle of this century, that means by 2050, the dominant species who has more impact on the planet Earth is Homo colossus. The dominant species was succeeded by Homo colossus. This is the successor, a prospective successor. Once the resources gets depleted, that will happen within 2-3 decades. The most important resources on the planet Earth being the fossil fuel, a detritus ecosystem products. I talked about what they are. You can look at in the previous series. Essentially, they are the coal and natural gas and oil. Once they deplete, on which the modern economic, political, social niches, all our lifestyles, driving the cars, flying on aeroplanes, using the modern internet technologies and all those things, once they deplete, then the prominence or dominance of the Homo colossus will decrease, and again we'll see the Homo sapiens coming into existence, becoming a dominant species. So that's what it is: Homo sapiens, Homo colossus, Homo sapiens again. So we have discussed these issues as a part of a ecological series from the Dr. Carton's book, the Overshoot book and Bottleneck book. And in the first 50 series, I discussed the most important fundamentals like carrying capacity, taking over, drawing down, old world, new world, and so on. And ecological overshoot, ecological bloom, ecological crash, What is the diachronic competition stealing from the future generation? The old paradigm, the cornucopian paradigm that's still in vague, or social political paradigm. Then what is the ecological paradigm? What is the comparison of those two? Previously we used to have agricultural hunt. Before the agriculture was done or invented, hunters and gatherers with less food security on the planet Earth, every day hunting for the deer and something like that. And if there is no the deer, they grow hungry or malnourished. Now the modern times we have Homo colossus hunting every day. From traditional hunters and gatherers to industry, what we are hunting is hunting for millions of tons of the coal every day, millions of barrels of oil every day, and cubic feet of gas every day. If that is not hunted, that is not brought in existence every day, then our systems and modern political economic niches will decline, even collapse. So those important things I discussed in the first 50 series. Then we concentrated on the population every year on the planet Earth, 80 million people. 80 millions are added net, among which India adds 10, China 5, Nigeria 5, and so on. Then I looked at some of the aspects of the population contribution to India and the global every year. You can look at it, those until 65 series. Then in the current point we are talking, it's 78. Part 78 is the ecological success Homo sapiens to Homo colossus, the gigantic human being, resource prodigal, will be back again Homo sapiens in next few decades. We will see. That is part 78 we discussed about. That is the ecological succession of Homo sapiens with Homo colossus. Then again Homo sapiens, ecological evolution or succession or quasi-speciation, all those things we discussed. And thank you for joining me today, and excuse me, I'll be very happy to hear your inputs and comments or any criticisms and any suggestions. Mitram and Bandhuvam, and see you later in other presentation. This is Dr. J. Reddy, South Asia Maps.